Yeah, the acceleration is great, handling is fabulous. Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here, and look what I got today. This is a 2023 Royal Enfield Himalayan Scram 411, right there. Just a beautiful thing. Look at the styling. There's a lot of difference between this and the ATV model like I have. A little bit of difference. And they've added a couple upgrades to this one. We'll talk about that too. But if you all watch my channel, you know that I've got a beautiful red and black Himalayan that I just love. I got over 14,000 miles on it, had no trouble with it. It's just over a year old. I bought it on the 5th of October. Today's the 7th of October. The 5th of October a year ago. But what's the difference between this bike and my bike? I'll start with that. Well, first, what is this bike? This bike is a air-cooled single overhead cam, 2-valve, one intake, one exhaust, 411cc, 24 horsepower, 23 foot-pounds of torque, hot rod little fun bike. It's everything but fast. It'll do anything but go fast. I burn up all kinds of roads on mine, gravel, pavement. Probably of the 14,000 miles, I probably got 60 or 70% of that's on gravel, and I've had just a ball on it. Absolute fun. The bike is got a 4-speed, I'm sorry, the bike has a 5-speed transmission, a big old single cylinder thumper, makes a beautiful noise. This is the updated version compared to mine. It's fuel injected, of course. So the big difference between this one and mine, some of the bigger differences, let's start with the front. It's the front tire. This has got a 100 by 90 19, where mine has a 90/90 21. My tire is 2 inches taller and a little narrower. This one's got a wider tire, but it's shorter. And I've driven this on pavement a lot, and it's very nimble handling compared to mine. Mine handles good, this handles better. A little lighter handling. Another difference is this fender is different. You can get a lot of fingers under there without mine. The fender hugs the tire more and I'd actually raise it. I love the way that they've got these boots on there. All the Himalayans have that. Another big difference that you'll notice right away is this doesn't have the racks, and this is all, you know, this is all part of the headlight assembly, is part of the front end now. Where on my bike, the headlight assembly, the gauge clusters, all of that is held on a mount separate from the handlebars and the front tire. And by the way, just to point this out, this is cast aluminum. That's a piece of cast aluminum. Could have been plastic, but they made it out of cast aluminum. Very, very impressive, I think. This has got a 41mm forks that are covered, of course. I think this bike has, mine has 7.9 inches of travel. This has got 7.5 inches of travel. Look at that. It's got a little less ground clearance than mine. It's got about, I think they have about 7.9 or maybe 8 inches of ground clearance. The back tire is the same size. It's got a 120/90/17. These bikes come with Seats from the factory. I just changed my front tire on my bike. I had 13,500 when I changed it, and that was 1,000 miles ago, or a week ago basically. So I got a lot of good mileage out of the front. The back one I wore out in about 4,400 miles. Another difference between this bike and the older Himalayan, or the standard Himalayan, is the seat. This has got a one-piece seat, where the standard Himalayan, the ADV version, has a separate pillion and driver's seat. This is kind of a neat thing. Look at the stitching on there. Very nice looking seat. The rear assembly is different too. This fender is different. I think the tail light and the blinkers are still the same. Monoshock. This is a linked monoshock, so it's progressive. There you can see it. If you change these links, you can actually lower this bike or raise this bike, I think about an inch. So if you put shorter links on here, I think you raise it an inch, put longer links on it, and you'll lower it an inch. So, you know, the seat height is 30.2, I think, 30.3. I'm sorry, the seat height is 31.2 or 31.3 on this model. That's about 795 millimeters. And you can actually drop it about an inch if you want, or raise it an inch. Very nice, very nice. Kind of an interesting style. They don't have those racks on here anymore, but they've got these neat little covers. And what these covers do is they kind of hide the horn a little bit. They hide the fuel pump. You can see the fuel pump up here on mine, for instance, on the ADV version. Not that that's a problem. I've never thought of it, but it's just a nice styling exercise. Just a great thing. The suspension in the rear is the same. I think it's just about 7 inches travel in the rear. and just soak that in. That gorgeous. This bike has got a couple add-ons. They added these handguards, which I also put on my bike. These are the actual Royal Enfield branded handguards. Very nice. And they added these, I guess you call them crash bars, but you know, that's kind of nifty too, isn't it? They kind of blend right in. Very nice. Comes with a dash plate, stock. They also put a oil filter, they also put an oil cooler guard on this one. Very nice. That looks good. That silver looks very good on there. Spoked wheels, tubed tires. Tubed tires. They have tubes in them. Just very nice. Another big thing that they did on this model is they changed this. So mine has an instrument cluster with a, you know, an analog looking speedometer. This is an analog speedometer too. It's a different system anyway. This has a neat little center section here with the fuel gauge. Can you see that right there? Time, gear indicator, very nice to have. Odometer. And the neat thing about this, on the ADV version, there's buttons down here that you have to push. This you can do with a button right here, this button here. So if you look at the trip meter here, now it says trip meter A, trip meter B. I wonder how you change that. Okay. And then the odometer. You can do it from the handlebar. You don't have to reach down. So everything else I think is about the same. Flash to pass, high lows, blinker, horn, kill button, hazard lights, start switch. All this is, you know, very nice. I like these mirrors on mine. I raised them out a little bit, or put them out a little bit. But the other big thing is this trip meter. And I rode a bike with this and actually used it on purpose the other day, and I actually really liked it. It worked very well. I got I got my destination on my phone, put my phone in my pocket after connecting with this, and it took me right to right to my destination. I got a video about that. It should be out before you see this one, so look for that thing. But the tank is a 4-gallon gas tank. Plenty of range, by the way. I get my last tank I got 59 or 61, somewhere in there. So 4 gallons times that, you know, it's quite a range. I go at least 180 to 200 miles between fills, and without sweating at all. It just does it well. I went down to Missouri the other day on pavement with my bike, and you know, 200-mile ride, basically a little over 200 miles on one tank of gas. Worked beautifully. But the big question is, how does that thing do on gravel and dirt? I know how it does on pavement, but how does it do on gravel and dirt? And I haven't been able to find any good information on that yet. So I'm going to get my helmet on. We're going to get this thing going, and we're going to buzz around town real quick, and then we're going to head out onto the gravel. And we're going to find out what's it like on gravel, what's it like on a little bit of dirt. Life is good. Wahoo! All right, kickstand up, key on, clutch in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hot rod. Here we go. One of these videos soon, we're going to walk through that building right there. There is some real neat motorcycle treasure in there. I'm going to run down here real quick. I'm going to do a spin test for y'all. This is on a hill, by the way. That right there is the Derailleur Grill. If you're ever in Marnie, Iowa, check them out. They got a lot of good food in there. Good place for a sandwich, little meal. So this thing is turning, look at this, just like a dream. Nice and tight, no problems. This thing is such a light handling bike. I love it. I just love it. All right, let's roll. Iowa is in harvest season right now, so one of the things we have to look out for are gigantic trucks and other pieces of farm equipment. All right, here we go. Let's hit some gravel. We're going to start slow. On our left is a bean field that has been harvested, and that right there is called a bean head. That'll fit on the front of a combine. They use that to harvest beans. Downhill on an outside corner. Let's slow it down a bit. Like I said, it's a bike I'm not familiar with yet, so we got to take it easy till we learn its habits. But I do know how it accelerates. Very nice. Look at that. We're going right through the heavy gravel. No troubles at all. No troubles at all. I like it. So far, I would say it's a little twitchier on gravel. I don't think it's as stable as my Himalayan. Of course, my Himalayan is something I'm, very well acquainted with. I got over 14,000 on mine. This is the kind of bike you can city ride all week long. Go to work, mess around town, enjoy it, get coffee, whatever. And you know, it's good looking for sure. And then on the weekend, bug out and find roads like this, or dirt roads, or you know, single track, whatever pleases you, hit it. Look at that, we just crossed that gravel pile without any trouble at all. Very stable. The faster you go, the better it seems to, well, like any good motorcycle. The gyroscopic force, the faster you go, the gyroscopic force seems to help a lot. So here, let's cross some gravel humps. Absolutely no trouble. Just right across them, no issues at all. I don't know how this would do on a big old rutty road. I know how my ADV does great. Oh, there's the corner we want. Just like last time, I missed it. That's all right. Give us a chance to see how it turns. Does very well. Does very well. There's our dust. Chicago and 570. Like I said last time, this is a road because of the harvest. They've gone over these roads with a grader, and a lot of times what that does is it hides the ruts and loose dirt. So you have to, you know, like I said before, let's go look for some ruts. It's definitely handling very well. It does this nicely. I am very impressed. It has a little bit less suspension than the ADV model Himalayan, but it sure does handle well. I think it's a little quicker handling, a little twitchier maybe. Plenty of torque. That's the beauty of this motor. It's just got so much torque. They don't have a lot of horsepower, but they've got a lot of, you know, they've got a lot of power where you need it. So we've done a little bit of city, the mighty mini. We've done a lot of city, the mighty mini-tropolis of Marnie, Iowa. We've hit some gravel, a little bit of curves. We've done a bit of dirt, and now we are on pavement. And this is where this bike really shines compared to the ADV model. I mean, look at this, just a hoot. And I love that gear indicator. Wahoo! This bike has a little less weight than my Himalayan. They're supposed to be about 31 pounds lighter than the standard ADV Himalayan. They're a little shorter. So let's talk about pushing it around the garage. I think it's still a tall bike, so you might have to, you know, it's a little, you gotta watch it. It's pretty light, so it's easy to push. I'd say driving it slow around town, let's say around the parking lot, 0 to 5 miles an hour, it's a snap. These things handle, and this one in particular handles very well, this model. Yeah, it's got that smaller front tire. And then I'd say picking up speed on pavement, it's just a fabulous bike. Like driving around a city would just I think that's really what they made it for. Drive it around the city all week long, have a ball. And then if you want, go out on the weekends and burn up some dirt, you know. I drive about 60 or 70% dirt on my Himalayan, my ADV model. If I were to buy something like this, I'd probably drive it 20% on dirt, 10 or 20%. And it just does so well on pavement. We did take it on gravel and thought it did well. It's a little twitchier than my bike, not quite as stable, but it handled very well. Very nimble handling, I would say, compared to mine. And then on the dirt, it was just fabulous. I like it, guys. I really do like it. I'd like to know what kind of options they're going to come up with for wind protection. You know, if you're a city bike guy, that really doesn't matter that much. Maybe a fly screen or something. But what a great motorcycle. What a great motorcycle. Royal Enfield has done it again. Also, these have a 3-year unlimited mileage warranty. Unlimited mileage warranty. And Baxter Cycle right there, they stand up behind their products. If you guys are enjoying this video, I don't want to go back yet. What can I do? Hey, let's do a little turn here. If you guys are enjoying this video, please hit like, subscribe, tell me what you want to see more of, and we'll get that for you. Try to. If you want a motorcycle like this, Royal Enfield, Triumph, new or used, or some sort of vintage British motorcycle, this is the place to go right here. Baxter Cycle, Marnie, Iowa. Interstate 80, exit 51, Western Iowa. Just a beautiful place to go. Anyway, life is short. Get out there and ride. Wahoo! Baxter Cycle. Quick look around here. Clothing, gloves, motorcycles. There's the famous 500 single race bike. Whole slew of Enfields, Meteors, Himalayans, the new classic 350s. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? And behind that is the old 700 classic. I think that one's from the 50s. Over here are the 650s, the Interceptor 650s. There might be a Continental, well, the Continental is outside right now, the single Continental that they have right now. But what a beautiful place, huh? Parts along the wall back there. Just a beautiful place. Wahoo!